President Barrow declares public holidays in observance of Eid al-Fitr. Moon sighting for Eid al-Fitr is in this evening, Gambia Supreme Islamic Council announces. 27 Nigerian college students reunited with parents after spending over 50 days in captivity. This and more coming on The World Today. Hello, this is The World Today newscast with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. Now, President Adama Barrow has declared Wednesday 12th and Thursday 13th May 2021 as public holidays throughout the country in observance of the feast of Eid al-Fitr. A statement released by the presidency says the Office of the President wishes to inform the public that His Excellency President Adama Barrow, acting under Section 76 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, is pleased to declare Wednesday 12th and Thursday 13th May 2021 as public holidays throughout the country in observance of the feast of Eid al-Fitr to mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan. President Barrow is wishing all Gambians at home and abroad a happy and joyous Eid celebration. The release ends. Now, the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council has asked for public participation in the search for the new crescent of month following Ramadan. As the month of fasting reaches its final hours, the Islamic governing body issued contacts to pave way for reporting of news about the new moon. When sighted, Muslims all over the world will observe the Eid al-Fitr, also known as Korite, the next day. Otherwise, fasting will continue for one more day. The month of Ramadan is 29 days old and its ending is subject to the shifting of the new moon of Shawwal. Now, journalist Ibrahim Ba is live at the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, and over to you, Mr. Ba.
Thank you, MC. And rightly, like you said, the Supreme Islamic Council, its new executive have been working very hard to engage every member of the community when it comes to decision making. So this is the second time at the beginning of Ramadan, the council informed the public to go ahead with the moon sighting and talk to the council on various regions and issued contacts where members of the public could communicate to. Phone numbers were given to give the public opportunity to take part in decision making. So at the end of Ramadan, so 29 days on in the month of fasting, it is almost time to break fast, and the council took up the same measure. That is to ask people, go ahead this evening to search for the new crescent of the month of Shawwal, which is the one following Ramadan, and then inform the council anytime one sees the moon.
Okay, so has the date for the Eid al-Fitr been announced by the council?
The date is not yet formally announced, but what the council, the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council has done is to set up a panel which is currently working on or listening to the public as to what will be the news by the end of today. And this same panel will go on the media, including on iAfrica, to inform the public whether tomorrow, Wednesday, will be the Eid or the Eid al-Fitr, that is the Feast of Korite, or a day after. So I sounded public opinion, and I came across Omar Bojang, one of the young scholars who gave a reaction to what the council have said in calling people to search for the month.
This is the right thing to do in accordance to the Sunnah of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When people fast 29 days in the month of Ramadan, it is recommended for all Muslims to endeavor to sight the moon, to establish whether the moon is sighted or not for the following day for Eid. So this is in accordance with the Sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Actually, very true, because before We had a lot of misinformations about how the council handles the matter of sighting the moon. So actually involving everybody and tasking everybody in an inclusive manner would really, clear those doubts that the council does not only sit and wait for country X or Y or Z to declare a salah or no. So this is, alhamdulillah, I believe this will unify the ummah because everybody is called on board. Everybody is asked to participate in this divine effort to sight the moon this evening, inshallah.
So that was Omar Bojan speaking earlier to Press Bar. And Press, the end of Ramadan is usually surrounded by anxiety and difference in opinion. So what's the situation this year?
Opinions are always dividing or diverging when it comes to the beginning of Ramadan or the end of Ramadan. This year specifically is going to be complex because it is like 24 months when Gambians have not gone to such an event. I mean, you recall last year because of the COVID-19, people were forced to observe the Holy Feast of Korite in their houses. Because of COVID, no congregation was observed, and despite the fact that Islam, the teaching of Islam, accepts such rulings, and such as the closure of mosques, these were all justified Islamically. The scholars were able to give references as to when and how it happened during the time of Prophet Muhammad. And now, despite all these, people are not satisfied because the urge and the feeling that the congregation has to be revived is so much absolute in the Gambia. So this is one of the reasons which will compel many people, if not everyone, to hope for the sighting of the moon to be observed immediately. So actually the anxiety is going to continue.
And also, finally, reports are suggesting that the moon has been sighted in Saudi Arabia. Will this in any way affect the decision of the Gambia?
Understandably, in history, Gambia Supreme Islamic Council used to rely a lot on Saudi Arabia, which is the capital of Islam, actually, when it comes to the infrastructure and the historic knowledge about Islam. So this was the situation. However, the current executive of the Supreme Islamic Council has taken a bit of more engaging method in getting information from the public. And then this is what will take them to various media platforms to listen to people and then open up their lines to hear whether really the Gambians are also participating in the sighting of moon or not. So the information that Saudi have not seen it is still fresh in the council here, but the officials of the council promise to get back to iAfrica later in the day, that is through their panel, which will be talking to the media. Then and at that time, we will really be able to confirm whether if the moon is not sighted at all or sighted in Gambia, what will be the ruling. But the final decision is really in the hands of the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council, which is coming later in the night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. Ibrahim on live reporting from the Supreme Islamic Council. Now moving on, more than 20 Nigerian students kidnapped for about 2 months have been freed thanks to the intervention of a controversial Islamic cleric on the state after the government failed to pay a ransom of more than $1 million claimed by the kidnappers. Both parents and their children could not hide their joy after reuniting. The freed students explained their ordeal during their hostage, while kidnappers threatened to kill captives if their demands are not met. So more in this report.
Shouts of joy rent the air as the 27 students were driven into the school where they were kidnapped from over 50 days ago. One after the other, the students disembarked from the buses and marched into the school hall to meet with their parents, relatives and friends. Inside the packed hall, the joy was clear as the students finally reunited with their parents. It's a moment the parents had looked forward to for weeks, and they could not hold back their joy as it unfolded.
I am overjoyed. My daughter was held in the forest for 56 days, and now she has come back alive. I just can't thank God enough. I also thank all those who put in the effort to ensure the students were released from captivity. I thank God and I thank everyone.
The release of the students was facilitated by a controversial Islamic cleric in the state after the government refused to pay a ransom of over $1 million which the kidnappers had demanded. The freed students say they went through a lot of torture in captivity.
It wasn't easy at all. First, so many challenges, no food. We drink dirty water. We don't even take our baths, not even brush. We feed on mangoes at times, that's if they want to. It has not been easy. Like seriously, it has not been easy. There's hell. Just thank God that God has finally heard our prayer and bring us out of that mess.
I have hope that I'm going to come back, but sometimes I'll say, God, is it how my life will end? I cannot suffer this kind of suffering, but I thank God. It's time for us to live.
I was among the first batch that were released on the 5th of April. We really experienced a lot, seriously. Being there is not easy, it's not nice, seriously. We really suffered there. The water that we used to drink alone, God, this is something else. So we really thank God, we appreciate God for saving our lives.
Most of the parents say their children will not be coming back to school anytime soon until they are sure adequate security arrangements are in place to guarantee their safety. And as this sad chapter closes, attention has now fully shifted to an unspecified number of students of a private university also in the same state who were kidnapped last month. Their captors have killed 5 of them, threatening to kill the remaining hostages if their ransom demands are not met.
Now, mushroom farming is gaining a momentum in Tanzania as many people, including elderly, are decently benefiting from their farming activities. About 2,000 mushroom oyster tons are produced in Tanzania each year, according to the country's Mushroom Association. As featured in this report, a 75-year-old woman farmer explains how she managed to boost her income through her mushrooms farming initiatives. More in this report.
These rows of compost-laden plastic bags are actually a mushroom farm. Through them, Paulina Ndiatabura, a 75-year-old mother of 10, has found a new source of income. 2 years ago, she was a stay-at-home great-grandmother. Now she harvests 3 to 4 kilograms of mushrooms a day.
Here, mushrooms are bought for $3.50 from farmers like us. Those who buy from us sell at $4.50, making a profit too. Some go as far as selling a kilo of mushrooms for $6, so the money I get is enough for me.
Paulina's farming instructor says with the right knowledge and skills, a few square meters can yield up to 200 kilograms of mushrooms a day. He believes large investments are the key to boosting the country's output.
Smaller farmers sometimes lack the morale to produce more, asking themselves, if we produce more, then what? But if they're giant producers who penetrate and sell the product outside the country, others will be encouraged. More will come forward to invest, produce and sell.
According to the Tanzania Mushroom Growers Association, there are more than 10,000 mushroom farmers in the country. They produce nearly 2,000 tons of oyster mushrooms every year. Mushrooms can be farmed on small plots of land, making them an accessible crop for independent farmers. Full of nutrients, they are also environmentally friendly, which helps protect growers from weather variations. Despite their benefits, mushrooms are not widely eaten in Tanzania, particularly in urban areas.
Most people think that mushrooms are eaten by tourists in big hotels, but it's not true. Mushrooms can be eaten at home the same way you eat vegetables or fish. I eat mushroom soup the most.
Paulina sells her mushrooms to neighbors and other interested buyers. She believes a larger market will not only bring her more income, but will also attract more farmers into the business.
About 90% of Gambians consume bread on a daily basis, and sometimes the shortage of such a common food could cause hunger in many families, especially during the month of Ramadan. With the hurdles of the COVID-19 on jobs and lack of employment opportunities, a group of youth in Ibo Town embarked on selling bread lower than the normal prices as a form of community development and self-employment in the holy month of Ramadan. More in this report. Besides rice, which is Gambia's main staple food, bread is the most consumed food in the country. Bread is one of the oldest processed foods and various types in different grains, including wheat, spelt, and barley, as well as seeds such as sesame, sunflower, and linseeds. Unlike other countries, the most anticipated food for the breaking of fast in the Gambia is bread and tea. When there is scarcity of bread in the Gambia, not only the consumers are affected, but also men and women who engage into the stew and bread business are hard hit with its shortage. In order to help its community and avoid the scarcity of bread, as foreigners are mostly engaged with baking bread, these youths deem it necessary to venture into the business not only to generate income, but to sell it to its community as cheaper than the normal price of $7. Kumba Singate, the woman in charge of the Sali Community Bakery, says the establishment of the bakery is to help create employment opportunities to youths and the community.
Actually, that is what we want, because right now we are the ones supplying and not the other foreign bakeries. We don't want scarcity of bread because we are doing this to help one another with a price of $6 per loaf. This is so that we can help one another because, as you may know, there was no bakery around this area of New Joswang and Ibo Town. So instead of taking it to the highway, we decided to station it here so that it can be easily reached by the community.
Alu Singate, the bakery operator, explains the daily production of bread and how work is done in the bakery. He also encouraged his fellow youths to try to do things for themselves rather than waiting on others to do it for them.
So you have to reduce the price because here is a bakery and we all know how hard Gambia is and many people eat bread on a daily basis. So if we should increase the price, it would affect many people. This is life and we have to help one another. I'm urging my fellow youth to get up and fend for themselves because nowadays no one will help you, including your mother or your father. And so it's better if you do it yourself. If you reach 18 years and above, you should try and do things for yourself, at least to help your parents who have been there for you when they could. Broke, a well-renowned Afro-Manding artist, also one of the distributors, says bread selling is a job, adding that people like him have a role to play in the engagement of the youths.
It's not about come yo sa deka la defaral hamga, but it's about come yo lan nga muna defaral sa deka hamga.
As a citizen, it is not about what your country do for you, but what you could do for your country. So I and my team say we can do it, and that is why we are engaged in the distribution. So we are all out to help the community. We are an example to communities, and we can influence many young people to engage themselves into something, because all of us can do something and never take anything for granted. Bread selling is a job, and we usually buy the bread here and distribute it back to the community. Not to gain profit, but we maintain the bakery price of $6, and sometimes we do have 50 bututs or $1 profit from it, and it is what we use to buy fuel for our distribution vehicles.
Bread supplies a significant portion of the nutrients required for growth, maintenance of health and well-being. It is also an excellent source of protein, vitamins, minerals, fiber and carbohydrates. They are also rich in complex carbohydrates, which is an important part of one's diet as it provides energy. It is also low in fat and cholesterol. Bread is quite bulky, so it takes longer to digest and it's more satisfying. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
the pride we take in our brand, the work we put in